So I'm gonna be my last year. I'm gonna be a senior. I have a marketing and management major, and yeah, obviously I'm playing baseball. We had a really good year. I think we had 40 some wins, and we were ranked #1 in the country all year long, and it was really fun. Didn't end up coming out on top of the regional to go to the World Series, which we really wanted to, but we had a great year and a lot of fun with the guys. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, one of the guys you're going to get to inherit is Alex O'Donnell.
Yes,
he has put on a show out in the field this year for us. And I guess maybe that's what comes with having that bench year where you have to sit out when you transfer, because he's just full of energy right now.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a big add-on for you guys. What position were you playing at Mercyhurst, or were you kind of a utility guy there too?
Right. I honestly, when Joe and Charlie had me up to visit, coming out of high school, my senior year of high school, they worked me out at second, they worked me out at third, they worked me out at left, they worked me out in left field, and they pretty much told me I was going to be a utility guy.
Okay.
Freshman year, I got the majority of my innings at second. Sophomore year in the fall, I played a lot of outfield, which is why I think Barone trusts me out there a little bit.
Yeah.
But I've been basically second, and this year I played a lot of third, more than second base. But yeah, I mean, whatever I can do to help the team win, wherever coach needs me, is what I'll do.
Yeah, you've been really solid. Like I say, I mean, I've been impressed with what you do at second. It seems as though you and Alex have gotten along well when you've been in the infield, and you've been solid in the outfield too. Talk about the difference as you come to Jamestown and you get the wood bat in your hand.
Yeah.
How much of a difference is that?
It really is a big difference. I mean, like, balls that you mishit at school with a metal bat can still fall for hits. And in the summer, you really just got to shorten up your swing, and you got about this much space to square a ball up on the bat. And you can't try to do too much with it because you'll roll over, you'll pop it up. You just got to really shorten your swing up and just try to hit singles through the center, through the middle of the field, you know?
Yeah, and that's what you've been doing with a good degree of success so far. So another thing, you have speed. Is it something that when you get on base you're thinking about a steal, or is that up to the coach, or how does that work?
Well, actually, at school it's more, I go by my coach's signs, and like he manages it more. But when I came here, probably like 3 weeks ago, Coach Barone sat down with me and said he wants me to get like 20 bags this year. So he'll give me the green light every now and then, and he trusts me with my reads. But yeah, it's something that I have to do to help the team win. I have to steal bases with my speed. I gotta use it. It's a tool I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. One of the things we've been talking with all the guys about is your youth baseball time.
Right.
Take us back to when you started and up through high school.
Yeah. So in Little League, it was I had a really fun memory playing with both my cousins, who were like my brothers to me, were really close, and my dad and my uncle, their dad, were our coach, and we actually won 40 in a row. We won.
Wow.
We had 2 straight undefeated seasons of 20 in a row, and so that was really fun. Winning 40 in a row. We were like 12 years old. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then in high school, you know, I had great coaches all along the way. I had great coaches helping me to get to the next level, and telling me what I needed to work on, being honest with me, you know. And I can't thank those people enough. But yeah, I've had some pretty fond memories growing up playing this game.
Did you get to any state championships in high school, or?
I did not. In golf, I played golf and basketball in high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in golf, we were pretty close. Me and my cousins also played golf. Didn't reach it. That was a goal of ours. We were pretty upset. And in basketball, I think we ended up getting knocked out in like the final 8 teams of the state tournament. And baseball, we didn't really get that close. I come from a pretty small school, but I had fun playing those 3 sports. I was busy all the time.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank heavens you had time for academics too.
Yeah. Yeah, I try. I mean, my parents always preached that came first, so they were hard on me. So
talk about them a little bit. I know that's one of the biggest things, and I just had Connor Rule in. I forgot to ask him about it, but I know student athletes, the parents' support is just such a big part of it.
Oh yeah, for sure. My parents, I couldn't even begin to thank them enough for what they do. I mean, my dad they live 2 hours away, and they've been almost to every home game this summer. He's taken me to get. I mean, he spent money to get the best training. He's done everything I could possibly ask for, and I would be nowhere close to the man I am today without him and my mom. So,
all right. Well, it all paid off. You're a good young man, and we enjoy watching you play out there.
Thank you. I enjoy playing.
All right. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Don't forget, you can see the Jimmy Standahar player profile at the YouTube site 24/7 anytime you want. It is up there and posted for you. We will be back and chat with assistant coach and pitching coach Hayden Carter. He's going to tell us about last night, look ahead maybe a little bit toward the playoffs, and then talk about these Geneva Red Wings who we're taking on tonight. That's up next here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Penswood.net Classifieds offers the freshest, most recent classified ads available with over 1,500 new ads each day. If you're looking for a reliable used vehicle, check out the multiple ads daily on Penswood.net Classifieds. From cars, trucks, RVs, and motorcycles, you can scan the ads at Penswood.net at any time of the day or night and find something that fits your needs. Looking for household items, student housing, or even a new pet? Penswood.net Classifieds has it. Penswood.net, where you can buy, sell, or trade locally.
Here with Hayden Carter, the assistant coach, pitching coach for the Jamestown Jammers, getting ready to take on the Geneva Red Wings. And this may not be the last time we see these guys at this ballpark, is one thing we have to keep in mind.
Yeah, I mean, we've played here, it seems like 10 times already this year, so I think the guys are definitely used to the ballpark. The ball does not travel to left field, but it definitely travels to right field. So Chris Conley knows a lot about that. Half of his home runs are here, so we wouldn't be surprised if we came back here if we had the chance to get to the second round. Geneva's a good team. They play extremely well fundamentally, so definitely there's a very good chance we might be back here in the not-so-distant future.
An interesting thing, the way the playoffs work here in the PGCBL. I think everybody hates the old one and done, but it's, you know, these guys got to get back home, get ready to go back to school.
Oh, yeah. Guys play a lot of games over the course of the summer. A lot of baseball. They're spending a lot of time away from their families, from the guys that traveled from far away, like the guys from California, Texas, Kansas. So I'm sure a couple guys are feeling a little homesick right now, but one thing that cures homesickness is win a championship. So hopefully you guys stay focused for the next week and a half, and we finish the season strong.
We always go back and look at the previous game. Last night it was against the Utica Blue Sox, and Utica exploded for a 7-run inning. I don't know how many of those they had this season, but I don't think it's been many. And that was one that kind of caught me by surprise, and I'm sure you as the pitching coach felt the same way.
Yeah, I think it just, like you said, it kind of blindsided us. I think it happened in the 7th inning, and all with 2 outs, I think. Nate Grant came in and got us out of a jam in the 6th, and Quinn Taylor did a good job of keeping zeros on the board, and then just walks kind of killed us that inning, and then they had a couple hits that found the hole. The 2 infield singles off Johnston, the one that Markey dove for that the guy beat out. Even the ball that was hit to the left field wall, Sandahar said he was about 6 inches away from that. So just a couple things that didn't go our way. That's baseball. It seems like that's been happening more and more over the last couple weeks. So we just got to cut down on the walks and the free stuff that we give away in terms of walks and errors, and we'll hopefully avoid those big innings.
All right, we'll come back and talk a little bit more about these Geneva Red Wings, currently at 2nd in the PGCBL West. We'll talk about them coming up next here on the Jamestown Jammers Baseball Network.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton. We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement, too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Joined by Hayden Carter, the pitching coach and assistant to Anthony Barone, getting ready to take on the Geneva Red Wings tonight. This has been a battling series between these two teams. I think the one time that we played these guys here that sticks in my mind the most were those we played 2 here on one trip. And those were such close, hard-fought games, and we came out on the low end of both of those, and that was
that let us know, I think, at that point in the season what Geneva was going to be to us over the course of the year.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the roster and no real guy sticks out in terms of where he goes to school or his physical stature, but they play extremely well as a team. They're very fundamentally sound. They're well coached. So we know when we play Geneva, it's going to be a tough battle, especially here just because for some reason over the last couple of years we haven't really seemed to play well here. So hopefully the guys turn around tonight and we come out with a victory.
All right, one of the big things we always talk about, and you and Anthony both intimately know the pitching staff, you more than Anthony because you work with the guys day in and day out. Who do we have taking the ball tonight?
We got Ryan Boyer making the start tonight, making his first start of the season. Just so happened that he's been throwing the ball extremely well, and he's a starter at Pitt Bradford, so we wanted to see what he's all about in a good environment like Geneva. Difficult place to pitch at times, especially with lefties with that short right field porch. So hopefully he can continue what he's been doing in terms of throwing strikes, limiting the walks, and just giving us quality innings. So hopefully we're looking for a couple good innings out of Ryan Boyer tonight.
What do you have specific plans for the bullpen then? I know Anthony and I talked about this last evening before the game, and that is you don't quit playing because you know that you're the PGCBL West division winner regular season. You keep playing. I've always found that teams that decide, well, we're going to rest this guy, that guy, and the other guy, end up paying for it once they get to the postseason. And when you're in a one-and-done postseason, you can't be fooling around.
Oh, no, definitely. I mean, you look at Onondaga, they've won their last 4 games, so they're playing extremely well. So that's another reason why we should start playing well, just because they're going to come on Tuesday and they're going to be playing better than what they've been showing us over the course of the season. And teams are still fighting for stuff. I know Elmira has a chance to host a game if they take care of some things, and Geneva happens to lose a couple games. So there's still some to be played for. We're going to respect that. We're not going to give away games, but at the same time, we're going to get guys work. We're not going to throw away games, but we're certainly we're going to get all of our guys work, so everyone's fully prepared for that hopefully long postseason push.
All right. The lineup, of course, is Anthony's bailiwick, although I had inside information that you had a little input on the lineup the other night, and it worked out really well, too.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about the lineup tonight. All I know is Boyer's going to be towing the rubber tonight. I should see Conley in there, I believe, at DH. Steffel will not be in there. He's got pink eye, so he didn't make the trip. So that's all the insider information I can give you.
All right. Well, better than nothing. Hayden Carter, thanks for taking the time after a hard workout. You and Anthony both throwing BP today. It was your turn to throw the guys BP, and on these hot summer days, it's not easy to just pop in here and do an interview. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Dave.
All right. The Jamestown Jammers and the Geneva Red Wings. That's next here on the Jammers Baseball Network.
Psst. Yeah, it's me, your heart. Listen to me. We've got to talk. High blood pressure is serious, and yours? Whoa. What happened to us? We used to be so much more active, but lately you've been ignoring me. I know you think I'm just gonna keep ticking away forever, but you're wrong. You can do so much more to control your high blood pressure. Doing the minimum isn't doing enough. I'm under a lot of pressure and can quit whenever I want. Bet you didn't know that. Let's get to it. After all, we're in this together.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Back at McDonough Park in Geneva, New York, home of the Geneva Red Wings, Dave Shannon with you on the Jammers Baseball Network, getting ready to play baseball on this beautiful Saturday night at Russell Lee Dietrich Jr. Park. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Jammers tonight. Leading off, designated hitter number 17, Chris Conley. Batting second, the right fielder, number 6, John Conti. Hitting third, first baseman, number 30, Ben Brookover. Batting fourth, center fielder, number 2, Skylar Valentine. Hitting fifth, the shortstop, number 1, Alex O'Donnell. In the 6th hole, second baseman, number 29, Jimmy Standahar. Batting seventh, third baseman, number 16, Chris Estrada. Hitting eighth, the catcher, number 22, Connor Rule. And batting ninth and playing left field, it's Christian Deaton. Let's meet the Geneva Red Wings in the field tonight. In left, it's Mikey Arman, Matt Chamberlain in center, Matt Smith in right, Paramats in the outfield. Joe Tassin at third, Justin Etz at short, Dominic Toso at second, Jake Evans down at first. Will Simonite is behind the plate. He is the battery mate of Andy Reid. Andy was pitched. He has given up 32 runs, but only 22 of those have been earned. That's on 57 hits. He's walked 5, struck out 15. Opponents averaging .358 with Andy Reid on the hill for the Geneva Red Wings. Sounds like a formula that could spell success for the Jamestown Jammers. What do you say we get it going here as Chris Conley steps into the batter's box? Chris's first game back in a while last night as we hosted the Utica Blue Sox in an outcome we did not expect. A 7-run inning, that is. What an outburst by the Blue Sox against us last night. First pitch of tonight's game is inside and low, ball 1 to Chris Conley, and we're underway. 7:07 the start time tonight. Couple of ceremonial first pitches delayed the start just a bit. 1-0 pitch on its way from Reid. Left-handed pitcher to the left-handed hitting Chris Conley, ball 2. And the count is 2-0. Apologies to you folks that may be watching on YouTube because of the sun. The sun comes blaring in here at this hour of the day. 2-0 pitch. Cut and a miss on an off-speed pitch. And the count now 2-1 to Chris Conley. Conley coming into tonight's game for the Jammers. Leading hitter on the team at .398, 39th game, 37th start. 2-1. Conley has 27 ribbies on the season. His OPS is 1.238. Payoff pitch. That off-speed pitch, and Chris out in front of it a bit. Swings and misses, and he is out number 1. That'll bring up John Conti. Perhaps the hottest jammer of late. John coming into tonight's game is hitting .358. Now in his 39th game, this is his 30th start. He is 38 for 106 at the plate, 29 runs scored, 3 doubles, 3 triples, 27 ribbies on the campaign. He also has 17 stolen bases to his credit, been caught stealing 5 times. 940 is the OPS for John Conti. First pitch to him a ball, and the next one misses inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. An early pattern here with Andy Reid. Went 2-0 on Conley as well. Ended up striking him out on a full count pitch. 2-0 to Conti. Catches outside corner, and the count now 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody aboard, 1 out, top of the first. Jammers and Geneva. 2-1 pitch. Conti has a big cut and miss at that one, and the count is now even at 2 on John Conti. John started to get into the extra base hits over this past week and a half. 2-2 pitch. That one's low, and the count is full once again. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Not a pattern as a starter that you want to get into. Going full on every batter you face. 3-2 pitch. Grounded foul down the third base line between Anthony Barone and the dugout. Count remains at 3-2. Jammers here tonight, home tomorrow afternoon against the Adirondack Trailblazers. That's a 3:05 game. Payoff pitch. Conti watches ball 4. John Conti aboard with 1 out, and Ben Brookover will step to the plate. Brookover on the season is hitting .328 in his 46th game and 44th start. 61 for 186. That's a ton of at-bats. He has scored 36 runs, and he has 33 RBIs on the season. Ben's OPS at .817. First pitch to him is over the outside corner. The right-handed Hitting first baseman of the Jamestown Jammers, Ben Brookover. Runner down at first, Conti. Pretty good lead off the bag. Next pitch to Ben is inside low, and it gets away from the catcher, Will Simonite. Moving up to second base is John Conti. Conti up to second on a passed ball. Of course, it was ball one. And the count is now even at 1 on Ben Brookover. One ball, one strike. Runner in scoring position. Conti at second with 1 out. As I say, is into the kind of 2-ball, 2-strike count. 45th start. 54 for 106. He's just a jockey. Moving up to the 6th spot in the batting order. One coming into the game. His 39th game and 38th start. 33 for 143 at the plate. He scored 22 runs. And factor in 29 ribbies on the campaign as well. No balls line because a lot of time strikes called on that particular pitch. That time he did not, and that time Andy Reid sent one into the same vicinity. The umpire said strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andy Reid ready with a 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Today, little girls all over the world look to the sky, where the
U.S. female officer to 4-star general. It was just announced that the vast majority of last year's doctorate degrees were earned by women.
Park in Geneva, New York, Jammers and the Geneva Red Wings. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Red Wings in Sunday night, the final regular season home game. Give you the details on that in a second. Ben Brookover before it ever touches the ground. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Mikey Arman. Mikey Arman on the season, hitting .325, his 41st game and 40th start for Dan Schwam and the Geneva Red Wings. Arman 51 for 157 at the plate. Team leader in runs scored with 33. He has 29 ribbies to his credit as well and an .874 OPS. First pitch to him, strike 1. Ryan Boyer's 0-1 pitch is popped up and out of play, and he's quickly ahead of Arman. No balls, 2 strikes. Love the pace that Ryan Boyer is working at here in tonight's game. 0-2 the count, and the pitch. Just missed inside, count 1-2. Talking to you about that Monday night thing coming up at Russell E. Dietrich Jr. Park. Get in to see a game for free by bringing food donations with you to the ballpark. 1-2 pitch inside with some steam, and the count is even now at 2-2 on Mikey Arman. Perishable food items you get in for half price, and if you bring 2 donations, you get in for free. Once again, that is coming up Monday evening when we host the Onondaga Flames. Count now, by the way, at 3-2 on Mikey Arman. 2 out, nobody aboard. Jammers and Onondaga Monday night, thanks to the St. Susan has popped up. Shallow right, back Standahar in Conti. Standahar prevails and makes the catch, and that will retire the Red Wings in their half of the first. No runs, no hits, no Jammers error.
Million children in America struggle with it. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Tonight's game of 344, hit average at 257. And now Ben Brookover with that 2-run homer, just 1 RBI behind Chris Estrada, the team leader, with 36. Chris is 45 for 175 at the plate. He has scored 30 runs. Runner at first, Standahar, nobody out. Andy Reid with him in the season. His OPS at 653. Another toss over to first. Standahar back standing up. Guess trying to get a read as to what the Jammers may be up to. In on the grass at third is Joe Tassin, and first pitch to Chris Estrada misses, ball one. 1 ball, no strikes. As you can hear the fans at McDonough Park trying to give a friendly suggestion to the home plate umpire. 1 ball, no strikes. Next pitch. That is over that outside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1. Tassin playing even with the bag at third. Shortstop batting with each other, determining who's going to cover that bag if Standahar takes off. Toss over to first by Reed. Jimmy back. Reed needs to wait just a little bit longer before he makes those tosses over to first to check Standahar. 1-1 pitch to Estrada, outside corner, strike two. Count 1-2 now on Chris. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andy Reed, the left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. Chris Estrada at the of a tell as well. He actually gets into a motion when he's going over that way. 1-2 count. To the plate. Estrada up the middle. And diving for it and just knocking it down is shortstop Justin Etz. And that will allow Chris Estrada to have himself an infield single and move Jimmy up to second base. Runners at first and second, nobody out for Connor Rule. Connor coming into tonight's game is hitting .231. His 24th game and 22nd start. 18 for 78 at the plate. He scored 13 runs. Has 15 ribbies to his credit. 659 OPS. Justin Etz, but he never really had control of it and couldn't find the ball. Reed fouls one off over the picnic pavilion down the first base line. The count is quickly 0-2 on Connor at 1-1. 2 gone. First 2 batters singled, Standahar and Estrada. They were at first and second. Then Connor Rule struck out. The pitch was in the dirt. Simonite got it, threw down to third in a hurry and hit in the dirt. No chance for Joe Tassin, the third baseman, to apply a tag there. And, of course, Estrada moved up as well. So that's what we have because Christian Deaton just struck out. 2 out, 2 on. Nice work so far by Reed after giving up the first 2 singles in the inning to Standahar and Estrada. Now it's up to Chris Conley to drive him in, and that caused the pitching coach for the Geneva Red Wings to head out and have a talk with Andy Reed. 2 out, 2 on. Conley at the plate, second time. Struck out swinging on a payoff pitch back in the first, and the first pitch to him is in the dirt, ball 1. I'm not sure exactly what all the pitching coach had to say, but I'm sure he said be careful with Conley. Red Wings know that he has the power to right, hit a number of home runs in BP today. 1-0 pitch, catches outside corner, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. I don't know that Chris disagreed with that because he didn't have his normal, I disagree with that call, posture that time when he backed out of the batter's box. 1-1 pitch is in the dirt, blocked by Simonite, and the count now 2-1. And you wonder the ball 3, and the count now 3-1. Everything, for the most part, that he has thrown to Conley has been outside and very low. Doesn't want to get anything up and give Conley a chance to maybe yank one out of here. 325 down both lines, 402 to straightaway center. That one is right down the pipe, taken by Chris, and that is strike 2. And here's the posture for at least mild disagreement with that call as he turned his back to the umpire and walked just a short space away, hoping for a better outcome than what happened back in the first. And first and came in to score on the Brookover 2-run homer. 2 out. First pitch to Conti on the another one over the inside corner. Strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Good discipline by John Conti there at the plate to go ahead and take that one. First and second into right field. Standahar scores. Estrada from second will score. The Jammers lead it 4-0. Boy, John. Conley moved up to second base. And Standahar and Estrada both came in. 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings for the Jammers, and Ben Brookover at the plate with 2 on and 2 out still. First pitch to Ben. Over the outside corner, strike 1 called. No balls, 1 strike. Oh, 1 the count. 2 out, 2 on. Andy Reid with the 0-1 pitch. Outside corner. Missed it that time. Caught it the first time. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reed's 1-1 pitch. Ben takes that one. Over the inside part of the plate that time, and the count 1-2. Brookover's 2-run homer came on a 2-2 pitch back there in the first. 1-2 the count here. That pitch misses outside low, and it's a 2-2 count again. Can history repeat itself? We can only hope. Ben Brookover, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on. Yep, deuce is wild. 2-2 pitch. Brookover fouls it back to the home plate grandstand netting. Count remains even at 2 on Ben. Chris Conley drew the 2-out walk. He's at second base. John Conti drove in 2 with a single. He's at first. 2-2 count. Pitch to Brookover in on the bat handle. Weak grounder to short. Up with it is the shortstop. Justin Etz throws to first. It pops out of the glove of first baseman Jake Evans. And he doesn't even come down in the bag. And he seems to be hurting at the moment because he jumped up to try to make sure he caught that ball. Don't know if he came down in a position that might have strained his hamstring or not. And the Schwam comes out of the Red Wings dugout to check on his first baseman tonight, Jake Evans. Ben Brookover got enough on that to get it past the pitcher and out toward the shortstop, but it was dying as it was getting to Justin Etz. He charged in, made the throw. It was a bit high. Evans jumped and was unable to come up with it. Now he continues to stretch things out. I think it's his right knee that's giving him an issue. And he talks it over with Dan Schwam. And I believe he's going to stay in the game as he makes his way back over to first. Hayden Carter checks with him. Ben Brookover involved in the conversation as well down there at first behind the plate. And we're all set to go. So Ben Brookover 2 for 2 on the night with a Skylar Valentine at the plate. The first pitch to him is ball 1. We'll get 2-0 the count on Skylar and the pitch. Pieces were left loaded. The score at the end of 1.5 is the Jammers 4 and the Red Wings nothing on the Jammers Baseball Network.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, I had one thing on my mind. I'm Paul George. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke F.
Well, the Jammers score back to the matter. Inside corner taken by Evans, and the count now 3-1. Both flags here at McDonough Park, just up off of the flagpoles. 3-1 pitch looked to me like it was right down the pipe, and he did not get the call. Ball 4. He being Ryan Boyer in this case.
So with 2 men on, that brings up number 17, the shortstop.
Jake Evans walks, runners at first and second. And 1 out for the shortstop, Justin Etz. Hayden Carter quickly out of the dugout to talk to Ryan Boyer. Connor Roll didn't even have time to go out and get involved in that conversation. Tassin at second, Evans at first, Justin Etz at the plate. Jammers lead it 4-0. Etz on the season hitting .277 in his 25th game and 24th start, 23 for 83 at the plate and 15 runs scored. First pitch to him was right down the pipe, but called ball 1. Best I can tell you is those are high. 1 ball, no strikes. Ryan Boyer ready with the 1-0 pitch. Line drive, waiting there for a little while. Eventually it got into a position where John could see it, and he moved over. It was only about 4 or 5 steps to his right and made the catch of the fly ball off the bat of Etz for the second out of the inning. 2 out, 2 on. And it brings up the right fielder Matt Smith, who had a heck of a game against us here the last time. Ryan Boyer, righty for the Jammers, and the first pitch to him. This one is popped up. Second baseman Jimmy Standahar gets underneath and makes the catch, and Smith pops out to Standahar for the final out here in the bottom half of the second inning. No runs, no hits, no Jammers errors, and a couple runners left on base for the Red Wings. At the end of 2, the score is the Jammers.
The odds of a young girl being discovered by an industry insider while singing to herself pumping gas. 1 in 300 million. The odds of a daughter of a clergyman from Severn, Maryland, spending 11 weeks at number 1 on the U.S. singles charts. 1 in 19 million. The odds of going on to win 7 Grammy Awards. 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of selling over 40 million records. 1 in 800,000. The odds of this musician and performer having a child diagnosed with autism. 1 in 68. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It'll be the numbers 5, 6, and 7 batters, Alex O'Donnell, Jimmy Standahar, and Chris Estrada, to face the lefty Andy Reid out there in the hill. Top of the third inning, the Jammers have scored 2 in both the first and second inning and lead this game by a score of 4-0. 4 runs on 5 hits so far for the Jammers. Grounds one down the third baseline foul, and he's behind 0-2 to Andy Reid. Alex O'Donnell, as I said at the beginning of the broadcast, really having a hot end of the season. He and Conti. There's a spanked shot that's knocked down, caught actually, by 1 out in the Jammers half of the third inning, and it brings up Jimmy Standahar. Jimmy at the plate for a second trip, singled and scored back in the second, and picked up a stolen base to boot. First pitch from Andy Reid, the law of gravity caused that to be ball 1. Didn't have enough on it. Just pulled it right down to the ground. 1-0 pitch. High chopper toward the shortstop. Justin Etz throws to Jake Evans and just gets Jimmy Standahar 2 up, 2 down in the Jammers half of the third. Jammers helping out Andy Reid here because he threw a lot of pitches early on and some early swings by the Jammers in this inning. See what it took Boyer 30 pitches to get through the first 2, and the first pitch to Estrada is ball 1. Third, Jammers 4, Red Wings nothing. Outside corner, strike 1 called. Balls, 2 strikes. See if Chris can grab another hit here. Field, and eventually Chamberlain, showing off his speed, is able to get in there, and another down to his knees catch for the final out for the Jammers here in the top of the third. No runs, hits, or errors. No runners, letters. Baseball Network.
In the small town of finding someone to invest in his vision.
Welcome back to McDonough Park in Geneva, New York. Dave Shannon with you. Are able to work quickly. Ground ball toward the shortstop. Nice hop to the belt for O'Donnell and a throw. And Matt Chamberlain's speed is not enough to beat that one. And there's one out in the Red Wings half of the third. One up, one down. And that rolls us back around to the top of the order, and Yohei Ishiyama.
The designated hitter, the man from Japan, it's Yohei Ishiyama.
Ishiyama grounded out on an 0-1 pitch to Alex O'Donnell for the first out of the first inning. Over the outside corner, taken by Ishiyama, strike one. No balls and one strike. Nobody aboard, one out. The 0-1 pitch. That one's a bit high, and the count evens up at 1-1 on Yohei Ishiyama. Here's the break-even pitch. Swung at and fouled down the left field line, out of play, and the count now 1-2 on Yohei Ishiyama. Ishiyama from Yokohama, Japan, attending Nihon University. Swings at that one, just gets a piece of it and fouls it through the batter's box. Count remains 1-2 on Ishiyama. Ishiyama is listed as a senior on the roster. May mean something different in Japan. All players in the PGCBL have at least 1 year of eligibility remaining in their collegiate career. Ryan Boyer's next pitch misses, and the count evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Boyer's pitch. Lofted toward left field. Christian Deaton charging in, dives, and he makes the catch. Retiring Yohei Ishiyama. Nice play, Christian Deaton in left. There's been a number of great defensive plays so far in the outfield. Dominic Toso steps to the plate for a second time tonight. Launched one down the first baseline. Ben Brookover stabbed that one and never even touched the ground. 3 unassisted as Toso hit that line drive out. Fouls off the first pitch, strike one. Dom Toso, 6'1", $175 out of Philly. He is attending Bucknell. Just finished up his freshman year there. Next pitch is in the dirt from Boyer, and the count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody aboard, 2 out. Red Wings half of the third. Jammers lead the game by a score of 4-0. 1 ball, 1 strike pitch. Inside and low. And the count now 2-1 on Dom Toso. 2-1 the count. Boyer ready and brings the 2-1. Toso just gets a piece of it, fouling it back to the home plate grandstand. Count now even at 2.
Future.
Wow, hey, you have this nice house. Do I have a nice house?
No, you didn't save any money. Always spent it on vacations and stuff.
If only there. What does this crazy little button do?
Wait, no!
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Score of 4-0. And at the plate for the Jammers here in the top of the fourth, leading 2 runs in each of the first and second innings. First pitch to Connor Rule is low and inside, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Lefty Andy Reid on the hill with a 1-0 pitch. Connor Rule takes 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sun continues to set out there in left center field. And the 1-2 pitch. This is outside, ball 2. Counts even at 2 on Connor Rule. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Andy Reid ready with the leading things off for the Jammers here in the top of the fourth. Nice opposite field shot off the bat of Connor Rule. 1 on, nobody out. Christian Deaton steps to the plate. Christian struck out on a 3-2 pitch for the second out of the second inning. Christian Deaton, 5'7", $160 from Bakersfield, California, attending Cal State Bakersfield. Just wrapped up his junior year there. Runner at first. Lefty Andy Reid to the left-handed hitting Christian Deaton. No balls, 1 strike. And the pitch. Reaching out and popping it up into shallow left field. Going back is the shortstop Etz, and he's going to be able to catch that. What hustle by Justin Etz to catch that one. And even though Armin was flying in left field, he would not have been able to get to that if it had been up to him. Great play, Justin Etz, to make the first out here in the top of the 4th inning. Back around to the top of the order, and Chris Conley. Chris 0 for 1, struck out swinging on a 3-2 pitch back in the first, unusual for him. And he walked on a 3-2 pitch after he had fouled one off back in the second. Runner at first, Rule, 1 out. The pitch. Just missed, not quite sure where, but it's ball 1, and the fans in the home plate grandstand disagree with the call vehemently. 1 ball, no strikes. Connor Rule with not much of a lead down at first. This one's launched into right field, and it'll fall in front of the right fielder, Matt Smith. He kind of deked Connor Rule as he thought he was going to be able to catch it, but Rule eventually saw Deke Conley now on base for a second time with the 1-out single. John, runners at first and second and 1 out. First pitch to John. Misses. No, never mind. That's the PGCBL here. Top of the 4th at McDonough Park. That one inside. John Conti turning away from it. The count now 1-2. Rule started the inning with a single to right center. Deaton popped out to the shortstop Etz. And then Chris Conley single to right field. And that pitch is in the dirt, ball 2, and the count is even at 2 on John Conti. Conti pops this one up. It could be playable. Here comes Matt Smith in a hurry, and he's going to knock. And to Andy Reid's credit, he was not just a spectator there. He was.
See you later tonight.
It's hard to concentrate on 2 things at
1-0 the count. Lights have been on here at McDonough. It swings and fouls it off over the picnic pavilion. Count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Runner down at first, Armin. Nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Jammers up 4-0. 1-1 pitch by Boyer misses way outside. Ball 2, and the count now 2-1. Ryan Boyer, the hard-throwing righty, works off of the, what would be, in his case, the far left corner of the rubber. Comes inside that time to Simonite, and it's ball 3. Count now 3-1, and in danger of walking the first 2 batters he's facing here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Three ball, 1 strike pitch. This is popped up, shallow right, coming in. Conti out is Standahar. Jimmy keeps coming in, and that ball keeps drifting toward the right field foul line. Hatch for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Joe Tassin will step to the plate now for the Red Wings. Tassin, 5'11", 200 pounds. From West Monroe, Louisiana, attending Bossier Parish Community College. Just wrapped up his sophomore year there. Grounder up the middle into center field. First hit of the night for the Geneva Red Wings. Runners at first and second and 1 out.
So with 2 on, that brings up number 6, the first baseman from Alabama Southern Community College. It's half the Johnson & Johnson brothers. It's Jake Evans.
Jake Evans at the plate. Sometimes catcher, sometimes first baseman. He's at first base tonight. 6 foot 210 from Wilmer, Alabama, attending Alabama Southern Community College. Just wrapped up his freshman year there. 2 on, 1 out. Ryan Boyer getting the start tonight. And the first pitch on its way. Taken by Evans, strike one called. No balls and a strike to Jake Evans. Some heat on that one from Ryan Boyer, perhaps releasing a little frustration. He walked Evans on a 3-1 pitch back in the second. 0-1 the count here, with 2 on and 1 out. And the 0-1 pitch. High, counts even at 1-1 on Jake Evans. Jammers and the Red Wings have seen a lot of each other through 2017, and the Red Wings have had the better of it. 1-1 count, the pitch by Boyer comes with heat again right down the middle, taken by Evans, strike 2 called. This is the 10th game between the two teams, and Geneva holding a 6-4 edge. Or I'm sorry, a 5-4 edge in that case. One-two pitch, some more heat from Ryan Boyer. It missed that time though, and the count now evens up at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Against us in 2017, Jake Evans is hitting .238. Fouls that one back to the home plate grandstand netting. Count remains even at 2. This is a big at-bat here for both Geneva and, in this case, Ryan Boyer on the hill for the Jammers. Kind of plate appearance where if you can get the out, if you're Ryan, it's huge. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the pitch. Hit high in the air, deep to right field, twisting way foul. It does go over the wall, but it's foul. Count remains even at 2. Another noisy strike off a Geneva Red Wing bat. And Connor Rule comes out, and as he should do, I suppose, as he's been taught by those guys in the major leagues, cover your mouth with your glove, because Lord knows Geneva hired lip readers, and they would know everything you said at that point. 2-2 the count. 7th pitch of the at-bat coming to Jake Evans from Ryan Boyer. Little looper into right field. That'll fall for a base hit. Conti in quickly and makes the throw in. Ben Brookover was there to cut it off, but it made it through all the way to Connor Rule, who was down on one knee and stopped it from going any further. And that loads up the bases. Armin at third now. Tassin at second. Evans down at first. And 1 out. Shortstop Justin Etz, who in the Jammers half of the 4th made an outstanding play out in left field catching a short popper. And he steps in now. He's 5'10", $155 out of Poughkeepsie, New York, attending NJIT. Line drive down the right field line, and it's foul. Strike 1. Another noisy strike.
Nice try, Justin.
Joe Tassin had the motor running. He had already turned the bag at third and was headed for home, in case that was a fair ball. Instead, he retreats to second. And Anthony Barone will come out of the dugout and talk to Ryan Boyer and remind him probably of how good a game he's been pitching, and it's time to settle down and make sure he continues back on that route he was going back in the first. It's a quick, somewhat terse talk from Anthony Barone. Connor Rule exchanges a word or two with Ryan Boyer. Anthony Barone back to the dugout. Connor Rule back behind the plate. And stepping in is Justin Etz with a no-ball, 1-strike count on him.